All right. So the Financial Times had a story out today that was the funniest thing that I've ever read, because it turns out people are using AI to create not funny images, but fake receipts that they then submit to their companies to effectively get paid out either more for legitimate expenses, Jason, or to invent entirely new expenses that are complete BS. Now, what's actually funny about this is, because that's just kind of crappy, but what's funny is companies like Ramp are also using AI to sniff out the AI usage. But that will only last until the next better model comes out, and then the fakes will get better. So then we're now in an AI arms race inside of companies between cheats and management. And I just find this to be so funny, because if there was ever going to be a way to make expenses worse, I didn't think AI was going to be it. I thought it was going to help, but people suck. So now we have to deal with this.
I think some of this is not just fraudulent. I bet you some of these are people who forgot to get a receipt. Just being like, I got a bagel at the airport on my way to a sales call. Make me a bagel receipt. So probably no harm, no foul on most of them. But this is going to be something people do over and over again. And the countermeasures from SaaS companies and the HR department will always be greater than the people trying to cheat. So I don't recommend this, because once you show that you're not trustworthy, it's over. And the smaller the untrustworthiness, the worse it looks.
Yes.
If you stole $50,000 because I don't know, you had a healthcare crisis in your family or something, you embezzled that, or like your mortgage or something, you were destitute, people would be like, oh my God, that's a crime, but I understand the circumstances. When you steal a $15 bagel and coffee, if you in fact did that, it really reflects on your character. I know this because when I was coming up in the game and I was fixing laser printers, there was a policy for expenses at Barrister Information Systems, BIS, one of the first places I worked. And all the engineers who were fixing laser printers with me had gamed the system. They did two things specifically to game it. Number one, they took their time and they had figured out amongst themselves how to, as a group, say it took 3 or 4 hours to fix a laser printer, when in fact I was doing it in 3 or 4 minutes. And then when I showed them how to do it in 3 or 4 minutes, they told me to shut the F up.
Right, because you're killing our revenue.
Well, not that. We could do more work. We could get more jobs done. And it turns out with the laser printer in the early days, like literally the first HP laser printer, HP Laser Gen 2, I would fix. And it turned out the fusing unit was 9 out of 10 problems. And we had extra fusing units that we used to fix. And then we'd have them on a shelf there. They were the spare parts. I kept 2 of these in my bag. I would go to the Blue Cross Blue Shield office where we had 1,000 of these printers under maintenance for $40 a month each. So we were making $500,000 a year with just that one account. And somebody's would break. I would go up, I go with my electric screwdriver, battery charged, replace the fusing unit, reset it. It worked. I'd leave in under 15 minutes. Yeah. And we're like, no. Take the whole thing apart, put all the pieces back, do a little show, lay out your napkin, put all the parts there, pull out the schematic guide, open it up, and pretend that it's a larger job, or else they're not going to pay us $500 a year for these. And I was like, okay, well, why don't we just get more contracts and charge $30?
Right.
And why don't they have PCs too? I'm thinking like a business entrepreneur. These guys were thinking like union workers on how to screw. Anyway, the second piece was they had a whole racket going with tokens for the subway, and you got food if you worked past a certain hour. So these guys would all wait a certain number of hours, get food, wait a certain number of more hours, get a Lincoln Town Car home, and they would have packs of receipts. So back in the day, you would just go to your local diner and you'd say, "Hey, sweetheart, can I get a?" You used to call people sweetheart back then. "Hey, sweetheart, can I get a couple extra receipts?" And you're like, "Yeah, here you go, love." They give you 20 receipts. And you get their receipt thing. Then you would trade those out. Everybody would do fake receipts.
So what you're telling me here is that this AI receipt fraud is really just a remix on a very, very old
old as time. This is why my feeling is I just like the idea of a stipend. I tell everybody who works for me, like, hey, you're traveling, you get whatever it is, a $50, a $75 a day, stipend.
Sure. Spend
it however you want. Because people are fasting. Anyway, don't cheat. It makes you look stupid. And if you're the boss, just give people a card from various providers, neobanks that provide cards. I wouldn't say which one you should use.
Yeah, we don't say the first letter of these companies.
There's a ton of them. There's a dozen. Pick the one that speaks to you. You can be a brilliant founder with a great product, and you can have an amazing team, but it means nothing if your sales process is disorganized and if customers are slipping through the cracks. Trust me, if your pipeline's a mess, you're going to spend way more time getting organized than talking to customers and closing deals. If this sounds like you, write down this name, Pipedrive. They're the #1 CRM for small to mid-sized businesses like me. I use Pipedrive and have for almost a decade. It brings your entire sales process into one simple, elegant, and central space. That's why the sales team here at This Week in Startups uses it day in and day out. You just drag deals along your pipeline and you're good to go. Plus, they've got some amazing new AI integrations, generate sales reports with advanced metrics and personalized suggestions based on where your company is struggling, and automate your sales conversations with AI-generated prompts. And when you use my link, you're going to get a 30-day free trial. No credit card, no payment needed. Go to pipedrive.com/twist to get started.